Okay, these are our Introduction to Cells notes. We're focusing on the parts of the cells and their functions. Cells are the basic unit of all living things. If it is alive, it has cells. There's two different classes of cells, and there's only two differences between plant and animal cells. So hopefully you'll be able to spot them by the end. But again, we have plant cells and animal cells are our two types. Within our bodies, or within the organism that is living, there are different kinds of cells. So we have cells that have different jobs. So like the heart cell is the cells that work in your heart. A skin cell are the cells that are for your skin. And if you look at them, they're different. Okay? They look very different. Now we're going into the parts. Cell membrane. Cell membrane holds the cell together and allows nutrients in the cell. The membrane is on the edge of the cell. It's not the black part, it's just inside. Okay, that is the cell membrane. Cytoplasm is the watery gel, or like jello, that's inside the cell. Okay, it's like goop. It holds the organelles, which organelles are a cell's parts. Okay, so all this beige in here that's surrounding the organelles is the cytoplasm. Then we have the mitochondria. Mitochondria is an organelle that releases energy from the food. It's like the mitochondria's stomach. The mitochondria is like the cell's stomach. It's taking in the food and it's breaking it down and making energy from it. Then we have the nucleus. The nucleus is the control center of the cell, and it directs all the activities of the cell. These little red dots here would be the nucleuses of the cells. And also in this picture, it's the center. Okay, it's like the brain of the cell. Ribosomes are small grain-shaped organelles that produce essential proteins for the cell. Okay, all these little dots would be your ribosomes. The endoplasmic reticulum, often called the ER, is a network of membranes that produce substances. If a ribosome is close to an ER, the ER will help the ribosome produce the proteins. Okay, so this purple part is the ER, and then you see the little dots that are stuck to it. Those are the ribosomes that are working together there to produce proteins. So the ER helps the ribosomes produce proteins. Then we have the Golgi apparatus. The Golgi apparatus is the cell's storage warehouse. Okay, it takes in proteins and other newly formed materials from the ER, and it packages them and distributes them to other parts of the cell, or even outside of the cell. The pink here is the Golgi apparatus, or also known as Golgi body. Okay, this is where the ER is sending the substances that it made to be stored and then distributed throughout the cell as the nucleus directs it to send. Okay, then we have the lysosomes. Lysosomes break down large food particles into smaller pieces. They also break down old cell parts and release the substances so they can be used again. It's like the cell's recycling center. Okay, this is the orange is a lysosome. They're usually circular looking. The lysosomes also are like the cleaning. They're cleaning up the cell. Okay, then we have the vacuole. Vacuole are spaces in the cytoplasm, that gel, where food and chemicals are stored. Okay, they're openings where they can store the food and chemicals until they're needed. A cell wall. Cell walls surround the outside of a plant cell. They make the cell strong and rigid. That's why grass stands straight up, okay, or other plants stand straight up. Okay, so the cell wall is the black part on this cell. Okay. Then we have chloroplasts. Chloroplasts are only in plant cells. They contain chlorophyll, which helps make energy, food from sunlight, Chlorophyll is green in color, so any plant that is green has chloroplast. And there's your green chloroplast. So what's the difference between plant cells and animal cells? So what do plant cells have that animal cells don't? Plant cells have chloroplast and cell walls. Animal cells have lysosomes. So if we had an animal that had a chloroplast, what would it look like? It would be green. Please fill in your notes and come to class with any questions that you have.